you're giving away all your time, your expertise, your advice for people who probably would have no intention of ever paying you.
What are like one or two of the big mistakes you see a lot of people make when they get into coaching, when they're getting started, or even if they've been in it for a while? What's something that you see that you would caution people against?
Oh, boys. It's funny. I'm actually working on an upcoming issue of my print newsletter, Secret Coach Club, and it's a negativity issue. But one of the big sections is around pet peeves in the coaching industry. So I'm trying to narrow it down into just a few out of those 20 or so that I mentioned. Boys. Well, I got to be honest. One of the things that bugs me is brain pickers. So I'm doing something about it in 2021. So stay tuned. But not saying all brain pickers are bad people, by the way, and I probably did my share of brain picking requests back when I started. But I think that it's very dangerous for the health of your business if you allow your brain to be picked. And the problem I have in the coaching world is everybody is so mushy, kumbaya, everyone hold hands and dance around in a circle, love each other, that they're afraid to say, no, I can't do it. So anyone who approaches them, any Tom, Dick, or Harry, that says, hey, can I pick your brain, Steve? It's like, okay, sure, let's hop on a call. And then you're giving away all your time, your expertise, your advice for people who probably would have no intention of ever paying you. So I have no qualms about saying no to brain picking. I wasted hundreds of hours, my first year in the business on these brain picking calls. So that's one thing I think coaches are making a mistake with, is they feel like they have this sort of belief that, okay, well, I'll hop in the call and hopefully the person will come around. It'll be business for me. And it goes along with the customer is always right. No, the customer isn't always right. There are a lot of, idiots out there that you don't want to do business with. So don't worry about those. That would be one thing. And you touched on another, is the whole bright, shiny object. People will try something for a little bit. They hear that, oh, Facebook Live's the way to go. And then they do it for a couple of weeks. They don't get a bunch of clients and they're off to the next thing. And I see with podcasting too. People think podcasting's that magic money tree in their backyard. They'll plant it, and they look out tomorrow morning, there's a bunch of money sprouting out. Doesn't work like that at all. So I wish that more coaches, online entrepreneurs, would stick to something and actually, you got to water it long enough to actually see the results coming from it.
What would you think is long enough? Because I preach the same thing, but I have a time period, but I want to hear what you think, because
well, bare minimum 30 days, like we talked about daily emails. I don't know if there's an actual correct number for it. Now, that being said, sometimes there's something that you do long enough that it just isn't the right fit for you. You're not enjoying it. That's important. If you're not enjoying it, don't keep doing it. Good examples, I had an Alexa flash briefing for about a year called the Mark Mooney Minute. And they were short little 1 minute things. I did 350 episodes of this consistently every single day. One day I woke up and I thought, I'm really not enjoying this. What I was doing was I was taking Saturday afternoons once a month to batch record a whole bunch of these 1 minute things. And I just wasn't enjoying it, wasn't seeing the ROI that I would hope from it. But I also did it for a year. It wasn't like I did 5 or 6 of them and said, oh, okay, I'm done. I did 350 of them. I thought, no, I'm just going to let it go, and instantly felt better. That's how I know that if it's the right move. It's kind of like breaking up with an ex. If you feel like you're 100 pounds have been released from your shoulders the next day and you're skipping along and happy, it was probably the right move.
I would agree with that. So I tell people, I'm like, the way I handle it, I have a shiny object board. I have 6 whiteboards in here that you can't see. But I take one of them and it's just literally like, if I have a shiny object, somebody tells me about something cool, or I think about something a lot, or I see an ad and I get into it, I write it on the board. At the end of the week, I go through the board and I'm like, okay, this makes sense. This doesn't. If it's on the board at the end of the month and I want to commit to it, I do 30-day goals and I do 90-day goals. I don't do past 90 days. I have a vision. It has to fit into one sentence.
Right.
It's going to change. I want, like, I'm going to Paris. Okay. I know where that is. Right. Then 90-day chunks. And it's like, okay, what can I do in 90 days? Same as you. I love the quote by Jim Collins. Like, if you're trying to do more than 3 things in 90 days, you're not going to get them done. Mm-hmm. So have a thing. But if you can't commit to it for 30 days, don't commit to it at all, because you're going to do it for a day or two. You're going to get excited about it. And then you're going to be like, ooh, I don't want to. And if you haven't, in my opinion, if you haven't thought about it for a week, to like actually think through what's the long-term implications. Is this a good fit? Is it something I'm going to like you have this, I have those conversations with myself in the shower a lot, or when I'm out running. Right. And if I'm like, okay, this is something I actually want to do. Okay. Then I'm going to commit for 30 days.
Yeah. I have two criteria for things I do. First off, do I enjoy doing it? Because if I don't enjoy doing it, I'm not going to keep doing it. So that's one of them. The second one is, does it work? So for example, if my favorite thing in the world is opening up my window and screaming at passersby, they're walking by like, hire me, or whatever. That could be my favorite thing in the world to do. I could bounce out of bed, can't wait to do it every single morning. It's probably not gonna give me much of an ROI, Or I may join a new social media network that has 100 users. I may really love it. Well, if there's only 100 people on that platform, that's probably not the right thing to do. So have to enjoy it, then obviously it has to work, but you have to give it enough time to see if it's going to work. And there's way too many people online. They're like, well, this is stupid. Podcasting doesn't work. I did, 6 weekly episodes and didn't get any clients. And they're the ones that are now in, what do they call it? Podgatory or, pod fading, where the show's kind of alive, but they haven't released a new episode in 2 years. So is it alive or dead? Who knows?